Good morning, everyone, or good evening, as the case might be. Welcome to this very special Saturday edition uh, targeted to creators. Today we are having this live stream to talk a little bit about creator income, specifically how they can increase their income through staking on Vitruvio. In the last week, we made a lot of feature changes to Vitruvio, enabling artists to really start scaling up their presence in Vitruvio. You can list as many artworks as you want. You can set a variable pricing, and you've seen the effects of that. It's great because more and more artists are consigning more and more works, and the community of crypto investors who have collector credits are seeking out those artworks that they like and collecting them, and it's really been great. Now, the reason I wanted to kind of do this session is to help you understand uh, the economics of Vitru, really, and what you can do with it. As a new blockchain, I would venture that most of you were not there the day Ethereum started or the day Solana started or whatever and got involved, right? So you're for the first time experiencing a situation where you're at the beginning of a blockchain's journey, right? We are actually still in beta and we are kind of growing our software, etc. And you're an early adopter, a participant in it. So we wanted to give you some guidance on how to approach Vitru, which a lot of you are earning now because of the sales that are ensuing. So that's the purpose of this session. Now, having been in the sort of Web3 art ecosystem for, I don't know, close to 3 years now, I also know that artists are most comfortable interacting on X spaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to go through the material I have, answer some of your questions. But right after we are done with this, I will start a Twitter space, an X space, so you can be more comfortable and talk more interactively. And I'll answer your questions there also. So that's kind of where we are going. And let's get started. I have a small presentation I'd like to start off with. And I also have a guest that I'd like to bring on. But before I get started, I do want to take note of one very important thing. I want to thank Fer Caggiano for her service and her contributions to bringing Vitruvio to where it is today, especially from the perspective of artists. As you may have seen from her Twitter post today, she's moving on from her role. And I just wanted to thank her and make sure that she realizes that her efforts are very, very well respected and regarded, and she will be missed in her role as the Creator Council lead. So we'll talk in another session about how we're going to move on and who's going to fill in that role. But today we're going to stay focused and talk a little bit about Vibe. So that's the essential topic of my presentation here. Vibe stands for Vitruvio Income Building Engine. And throughout the course of the presentation, I'm going to talk to you about income, short-term and long-term income, and things like that. All right. So Vibe is something very new. It's something that no other blockchain has. We did it because, first of all, we are a community-centric blockchain. We are not owned by a giant company or beholden to big investors or anything. We are all very community-driven. And Vitruvio is a blockchain for creators. We exist because we want to make it possible for creators to have a sustainable income. That's it, through your art. And so Vibe is a great pathway for us to get there. Now, this is a protocol-wide program. Protocol means blockchain-wide. And what we want to do is to make it easy to unify and continue to grow the ways in which we will share revenue with all the creators in our ecosystem, right? So our goal is really to motivate everyone in the ecosystem to contribute to the overall ecosystem's success. So if one of us is doing our part to contribute only to ourselves, then it only impacts us, right? But if we think like an owner and think like, this is my blockchain, how can I help it grow? Because every time the blockchain makes money, I make money. And also I want this ecosystem to thrive because it solves problems for a lot of artists. Then it's a different spin on it. So what I'd like to do at this juncture is I'd like to bring on my guest. So we're going to bring on Mike Purdy here. So Mike is the ecosystem lead of Vitruvio. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing very well. So Mike has been in the past few weeks done a fantastic job of responding to people's questions in our community Discord, etc. Now I know all the artists are hanging out in Telegram, and that's great. We set that up specifically for you. But Mike is also himself a creator, and I thought it would be useful to have him here during this and talk a little bit about our goals and our vision for Vibe, and also think about it as a creator, because he's not only the community lead, but he's also an investor in Vitruvio, and he's also a creator. So he's wearing every hat possible. I'm wearing just one hat, and Mike's wearing every kind of hat. So
Yeah.
go for it, Mike. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on this. Would love to hear them.
All right, great. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, Nick, for the great introduction. Yeah, my name is Mike Purdy. I'm a CEO of Mood Photo and Video, and I've been with Vitruvio since inception. I've been a professional photographer for probably about 13 years, and I'm very well versed on what it's like to be an artist. And as artists, we go through different phases. Early in my career, I was struggling to find my own creative, artistic expression and my own artistic identity, and trying to figure out, well, what's my style? And I was issued a challenge years ago of saying, if we took, let's say, 30 photographers and threw their work up on the wall, you found your identity when people can just come up and say, Mike shot that, Mike shot that, that's a Mike Purdy, photograph. And so that started my journey on really trying to figure out my own creative identity. But with that comes a long struggle of trying to carve out a living, through your art. And it takes time. Sometimes it can take, some people hit it out of the ballpark right away. Other times artists can spend years trying to find that creative identity. I've also been really successful with my art. So I got over the hump of really trying to find a market for my style, and got over that hump and started being quite successful at selling my artwork and my services. But that leads to another problem, and that's I'm always starting at zero every month, and I've constantly got to feed the creative engine and get new clients and get people buying my artwork. So that leads to the big issue of passive income. And what I really liked about Vitruvio and Nick's vision behind Vitruvio was really trying to give artists passive income, not only from our artwork, but also from an investment standpoint. So the way he's designed the system, it really enables artists to be a part of the ecosystem, to list their artwork on Vitruvio search and allow people to purchase the art. But then when we're issued the native coin for Vitruvio, which is Vitru, we can it creates opportunities where we can reinvest in for passive income through programs like Vibe, which Nick is going to go over today. You have no idea how excited we are, at least from the investor community, about this process, where it's very rare that there's a blockchain, a tier one blockchain, that allows you to have revenue sharing from the entire revenue that's created from the blockchain. This is really unheard of. It's super innovative. Usually in crypto, there's so much volatility. You really have to know what you're doing. But Nick has really made a very simple way for creators to earn passive income through their art, and also sell their art. It takes away a lot of the burden from marketing and branding and doing all of that. So artists can really just focus on what they're good at, which is creating art. So that's why I've been a part of Vitruvio. I decided to get more involved, like Nick said, in the sense of setting it up for success by really volunteering and really trying to do my part to make this chain a success. Every single week, we're getting closer and closer to realizing this vision of artists creating passive income. So that's a little background about me. Thanks again for having me, guys. I look forward to meeting you guys. I'm going to periodically jump into the Telegram group and introduce myself. And if you guys have any questions, you can find me on Discord, and I'll try to, like I said, join the Telegram group so that I can be more involved. So if you guys do have questions, definitely that's what I'm there for, is to field some of those questions as well, until we have a replacement for furs. So thanks again, guys.
Yeah, so Mike, I'm not gonna let you off that easily.
Okay.
You told me about some of your creative endeavors. I
Yeah,
think I think it would be great if you would be willing to share some of those with them, because you've done some amazing things. Yeah, so if you could just talk a little
sure.
bit about some of your projects, that would be fantastic.
Sure. So I started my career, my photographic career, as a stock photography agent. I ran an office in Beverly Hills, and represented photographers, and represented their licensing for ad agencies, very similar to the way iStock Photo is now. But before, in the old school days, when the film, if an ad agency wanted to get a picture of a family doing a picnic together because they wanted to use it in an ad campaign for television or print, marketing collateral, that sort of thing, they would reach out to me. I would search the database in 35 millimeter slides, find some artwork from artists, other photographers that took the work, and then we would negotiate the rights to license that artwork for that said, purpose. Whether it was based on, TV or print or circulation, whatever it was, annual reports. There was all different types of usage for the licensing. And then, of course, there were even buyout licenses where somebody could actually purchase the rights to owning that image, which were always great paydays for the photographer and for the agency. Whenever iStock Photo came out, and Getty Images, and some of these other companies, I knew that the industry was going to become commoditized as photographers started selling all their book to Getty, just to cash out. They were retiring. And we saw back then there was royalty-free images that were really low quality. Now all of a sudden, royalty-free images and micro stock started becoming very successful. And I knew I was going to be out of a job pretty quickly. So I have a finance background. So I was a licensed stockbroker, financial planner. Got into that. Spent some years in corporate America, and I just absolutely hated it. The worst thing you can do for a creator is put them in a box,
Yeah.
and that's what I was in. So I started shooting photography on the side, just for friends. It was mainly for weddings and that sort of thing. A buddy of mine, I had a camera and we just started shooting, but I started to get inspiration from it. Started studying the top photographers, wedding photographers specifically in the world. And then I had a motto of imitate, then innovate. So I would imitate, deconstruct their artwork, start practicing. And that really led me down a journey of really being inspired and having a voice in our industry. And I kind of saw a target niche within, which was kind of wedding photography meets fashion. And that was the route I took. And really started fine tuning my craft, fine tuning, my day to day operations, fine tuning the company. And then I think within 3 months, I was already making more in my photography business after starting than I was in my corporate job. So I decided to resign, go full time into photography, and that was about 13 years ago. I started a company called Mood Photo and Video, and it's Mood, P as in photo, V as in video.com. So you guys can check out some of my work. I started a company where I started hiring other photographers, training them on my style, and really, coming up with a really brand identity and a style for weddings, which was kind of an editorial fashion style. That led to getting in touch with a lot of different wedding planners, started doing more celebrity events, shot a lot of celebrity weddings. I'm currently the dedicated photographer for the TV show Married at First Sight. And so I travel around shooting all the weddings for that TV show, and I've shot 2 seasons with them, which has been definitely a great experience. Based in California, and I'm getting a little older, so I'm looking more for that passive income, because every month you do have to start at zero, and you're always chasing that next client. So that's kind of where Vitruvio fits in, and my support of Nick's vision. Was that better?
That was fantastic. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, good.
Appreciate it. Now,
No
what
worries.
what a bunch of artists are, they have just a few questions. We take those, then we can go on.
Mhm.
Southern Fried asks, what camera you use.
Great question. So it's kind of funny. I was just on a photo shoot a couple of weeks ago, and I was shooting a client. I had one camera in my hand, and the other was behind me, and someone stole it. So I was shooting at the time Canon R6s. I love that camera platform. I typically shoot, with 2 cameras and a myriad of lenses and different other tools. But I went with the Canon R3 to replace that one. So that's what I'm shooting with.
Nice. And
Yeah.
I see a bunch of artists asking about your X handle. I don't know if you have a presence there yet, but you should.
I don't use X. Yeah, so one thing that I'm terrible at is social media. I'm just terrible at it. It's my weakness. I just love the business. I love shooting. I hate marketing. I hate marketing.
And
And
as does everyone here.
yeah,
That's why we'll take
it,
care of it. We'll take care of it for you.
yeah. So that's why Vitruvio, the idea of a different entity handling your marketing is so attractive,
Mhm.
because constantly staying on top of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter or X, and constantly pushing out who I am, who I am, who I am, is so exhausting, and you don't see typically immediate returns for that. It takes sometimes 3 to 5 years to build your identity and build a fan base, and um, so I really focused on more paying for leads, and because I felt like I had more control over that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best decision, because I think you do need both. You need to market yourself as much as possible, and figure out a marketing plan that works for you. I found one that works for me now. So I do Instagram posts. I do paid ads and that sort of thing. But I try to do it so it's not a burden. It's actually a joy, and that's part of the key of marketing yourself as an artist. Is you get too bound up in the books and the business side of trying to sustain your business, and it's just not fun. Artists don't like doing that. We really just like to shoot and make money, but you have to run a business as well if you're going to be an entrepreneur. So finding that balance is tough.
Yeah. Mike, we talked about recurring income, and you and I have had many conversations about how the NFT model that exists right now, it's like a one and done thing. But if
Hmm.
you see the screen behind me, I've got a prototype of VitruStream, and we see VitruStream as sort of being a gateway to that recurring income, because
Hmm.
what you have is a compound interest, right? Every artwork you add is now available to be curated by someone and going. So your life's body of work can go there. Now, when you so I guess my question is sort of a hybrid. You worked in the stock photo business, and
Hmm.
I expect that very soon we will have bulk upload, so people can come and upload their whole 2,000 photo collection or whatever on here. What do you think the prognosis is for? I just put that out there because I know a lot of sort of professional organizations and locations, venues rather, whether it's business, hotel lobbies, airports, etc. They do look for things like photos and artworks and all that. And so I just wanted your thoughts on where VitruStream could go.
There's a huge opportunity for that. The thing that I like about the Vitruvio ecosystem as a whole, it's not just like an NFT marketplace such as OpenSea or Blur, where it's just like, here's some artwork, go ahead and license it. It really is an ecosystem that speaks to so many different types of artists and different problems that they're faced with. Stream is unique in that we're bridging that gap between Web 2 and Web 3, where we're getting corporate America involved in Web 3, and they don't even really realize it. The benefit of that is we are, as an organization with Vitruvio, we're marketing your artwork, um, through Stream, which is not just corporate clients, but we also have, commercial clients as well, or residential clients. And it gives people the opportunity to purchase your artwork right through their television, to show it in hotels. We're still developing that platform, and I think we're going to find out what the market wants, as we kind of build the system out. There is the need there, and there's just so much print on demand, that we're looking at, where people can license your NFT market, or license your NFT or your artwork, and then click a button, and then a print gets sent to them right away. You can even have it framed. So there's so many really cool. A lot of you guys probably know of things like art storefronts, .com, and some of these other services that you can list, and people can purchase your artwork there, both through print, and then Web3 is more of that NFT space. I see Vitruvio really bridging that gap between Web 2 and Web 3, where we're trying to combine, like in the case of a photographer, iStock photo and Getty Images with Web 3, and really kind of patterning our business model off iStock photo, so that people, not just investors, not just crypto investors, but corporate America going to Web3 to license artwork. That's where there's a huge market share opportunity for artists, is to get into the ground floor, and that time is really now. If we don't do it, somebody else is going to do it, and it's going to be too late. We really want to kind of be first, get as many creators on board so that we can build out that platform, because wherever the art is, that's where people are going to go. And so we have a very short window to capitalize on this. As artists, the presentation that Nick's going to go through, Vibe, there's a very short supply of that. It's not this perpetual supply that's going to go on and on and on. A very short list of creators are going to be able to participate in this. And I'm excited for you guys, because you guys are kind of leading the way, and you're going to be able to capitalize on it before a lot of others coming in, after you, are not going to really have that revenue sharing opportunity. So I think it's a good time to take a look at Vitruvio, and talk to your other creative friends, and get them on board as well.
Super. Well, thank you, Mike. I'm gonna go ahead and explain how Vibe works to the creator community here. I appreciate your taking the time to be here.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
We've got our hands full this weekend. There's a ton going on with tomorrow's
Yes.
launch, etc. So I'll catch up with you a little later.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
bye, everybody.
All right, folks. So let's continue talking a little bit about Vibe. It's great to chat with Mike, and he answers a lot of my questions in a way where it's not just like, here's the answer, right? We go back and forth, and we analyze things, because we are both quite analytical that way, but we're also creative in a sense. So it's really great to formulate some of the Vitruvio business strategy, and look out into the future, into big partnerships and things like that, collaborating with Mike. So I'm grateful to have him on the team with us. All right, so moving right along here, let's talk a little bit about exactly how Vibe works, and how you might avail of it. So I put up a very simple picture here, and on the left-hand side, I said all revenue sources. So as a blockchain, we are not going to build a lot of products ourselves, but we are going to build some very core pieces of the business, and we're going to own those, and we are going to encourage other people to come and build things on here. So the core things are, for example, Vitru Studio. That cannot exist owned by someone else, managed by someone else, because it is platform wide. When you consign your artwork to Vitru Studio, you're consigning it to the blockchain, straight up. There is no here's one marketplace where you add your work, and there's another marketplace where you add some other work, etc. On Vitruvio, the instant you consign your work, it's on the blockchain. You don't need to make an NFT for it. That's a wrong notion that was perpetuated by the model that exists in Web3 art right now. So if your goal is to not sell your artwork, but just to have it preserved on the blockchain, then we already do it. You consign it to Vitru Studio and you're done. It's already there. But so things like Vitru Studio, Vitru Search, etc., are apps that we as a protocol are going to build and manage. But there are opportunities where we want as many other ecosystem partners as possible to thrive. So I'll give you an example. For our marketplace, we have Neon Circus. Now, neoncircus.xyz is where it is, and they are a great marketplace. They are what you would consider analogous to some of the other marketplaces on Ethereum, etc., which are sort of foundation, etc. So Neon Circus is taking on that role. But what we'll also do is partner with Neon Circus to create a secondary market for art. So we're going to be working on that and doing that also. So I just wanted to share with you an example of how an ecosystem partner fills in a certain role. A lot of artists are only used to this model of a marketplace. You mint your artwork and you pay some fees, and that's how it works, right? With Vitruvio, it's very, very different. You consign your artwork, and then we market it for you, and we make sure that you are able to derive income from it. So first of all, for new artists coming in, you have to get over that barrier and think of us not as a marketplace. We are not a marketplace, right? We are a protocol. We are a blockchain, and I'll talk a little bit later about the advantages of that. But right now, think about as a blockchain, as we add more services, as we add more apps, we're going to get some revenue, and all that revenue is going to feed into a Vibe smart contract. It's one smart contract. So the amount of revenue we will get will depend on the product. So for example, currently with the store and with the licensing we have, just now we only have licensing of NFTs, but we are shortly going to enable your print licenses and your stream licenses, etc. So those are at 2%. And so 2% of all revenue that comes in goes into the Vibe contract. To give you some context, at its height, OpenSea had sales that were in the multiple billion-dollar range, right? And we expect to also get there very soon. So once those revenues come into the contract, they sit there, and the way they get distributed is by the owners of Vibe tokens. So there are exactly 1 million Vibe tokens. There's not going to be any more ever created, and they are being distributed. A lot of them have already been distributed, and a lot of them are going to be distributed tomorrow. 350,000 of them actually are going to be distributed tomorrow. And if you have a Vibe token, you have a portion of the revenue. It's very easy to figure out. You take the revenue and you divide it by 1 million, and you multiply it by the number of Vibe tokens you have. And that's how much your revenue is. This is yours forever. As long as the blockchain is there, and as long as you are making money, and as long as you are holding a Vibe token, you get money. So it's really important to understand that in most marketplaces, as an artist and a creator, you make money when your art sells. But on Vitruvio, you make money as a Vibe holder if anyone's art sells. All right. So that's just one revenue source. We are going to keep adding more revenue sources. So this is an important thing. All right. So this is basically the very simple lay of the land. Money comes in as fees. And one other thing I'd like to point out, on Vitruvio, fees are paid by the buyer. They don't come out from the creator's allocation, right? So if you price an artwork at $200 on Vitruvio, you get paid $200, not a penny less. All right, that's how it works. So this is the model for it. Now let's look a little deeper, right? So let's see what some of the revenue sources beyond what you're seeing today. So you've got the NFT sales fees. You'll have the print fees. We are also going to have we might have specialized consumer product license fees where maybe a consumer product manufacturer has certain product lines and they provide the templates, and artists create the artwork for those templates, and then you have very specific licenses for those that could be in units of millions, right? Obviously, the price would be different. It would be pennies or so. But that's how sort of the consumer licensing model, the consumer products licensing model would work. As you see, I'm prototyping Vitru Stream behind us, an early version. We've already developed a revenue model for it, which I've presented to the community at one point, and we hope to have that going soon. So there's a lot of different revenue sources, and those are going to continue to grow. And as a Vibe holder, what it means for you is as we have more revenue sources, you make more money. It's that simple. All right. So let's talk a little bit about creators and the ones who already have Vibe tokens. Now, I'm going to bet that there's a large number of creators out there who have no idea that they already have Vibe tokens, all right? Or Vitru coins for that matter. So what we've done is we've airdropped Vibe tokens to every Dreamer Core NFT holder. So what's a Dreamer Core NFT? All right. So the evolution of Vitruvio, at least my evolution, my pathway is I've experimented with different organizations and different projects before we got here. So one of that organization was Nifty Dreams, and so we had a Dreamer Pass, and lots of folks purchased a Dreamer Pass for a nominal value. I believe it was $10 or something like $10 or $15, something like that. Anyway, we used those funds to host some exhibitions and to really give artists exposure. But that has long since completed. And what we did was we airdropped Vitruvio Dreamer NFTs to all those pass holders, and we airdropped Vitru coins to them. And now, in addition to that, you also were airdropped Vibe tokens. So if you ever held a Dreamer Pass, then the pass is done. It's finished its value, its utility. But on Vitruvio right now, that same wallet of yours should have a Dreamer Pass, a Dreamer NFT, Vitru coins, and Vibe tokens. All right, so you're gonna have all of those. Now we experimented with a new model of marketing art called art packs, where you could subscribe to an art pack every month, and every month you would get a pack, you'd open it, and you would find a surprise, 3 to 5 artworks in there, and they would be from a select set. So we tried that a little bit, but it didn't take off because there wasn't enough marketing. But we're going to reboot that on Vitruvio with proper marketing. But all the artists who contributed their work, we've also airdropped Vibe tokens to them. So all of them got 6 Vibe tokens each. If they were in multiple seasons or multiple editions of it, then they got multiple Vibe tokens. All right. So you have those. And then more recently with Vitruvio, when we had nothing, there was just nothing here other than a vision. There was a lot of artists who stepped up and said, cool, I like this, I'll support you. And they put up their work in our Genesis. And I'm very, very grateful to those artists because they actually helped us bootstrap, right? And so all of them also got Vibe tokens airdropped to their wallets. And you can go check them now and they would have them. So that's done. In addition, the total pool for creators who we call dreamers is 60,000 Vibe tokens. So what we are going to do is we are going to soon announce the criteria that you have to meet in order to earn a Vibe token. It'll be very basic things like after you list a certain number of artworks, after you've attended a certain number of community events, etc. It's very community centric. It's not just you and what you do, but it's what you do in relationship to the ecosystem. And so it's a way to reward folks who are participating and who are sharing their knowledge and helping other artists, etc. We're gonna give them Vibe tokens also. So that's the lay of the land for what the Vibe token scenario is for creators. Now these are all essentially airdropped or in some cases earned, right? But today what I'm going to talk about is how you can easily get Vibe tokens by staking some of the Vitru that you might have earned through your sales. So let's go through and talk about that. So first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about the model that we have developed, right? So the model we have developed is basically saying that if you happen to have Vitru coins in your wallet, or maybe they are still unvested, maybe you got a Dreamer NFT and they're locked and you have to still claim them, right? Either scenario, you can stake them or you can swap them for Vibe. So here's how it works. But first, some definitions, right? Unlocked means it's Vitru that's currently in your wallet. Whether you use MetaMask or whatever wallet you use, if you go in there into the Vitruvio mainnet and you see a Vitru balance, that's unlocked Vitru. All right. Locked Vitru is if you have a Dreamer NFT and you go into our Scope Pro application, which I will show you here later, you can see how many you've been granted and how many are vested, how many you've claimed, and how many are available for you to claim. So that's considered locked because it's assigned to you, but it's not in your wallet yet, right? So how would the staking and swapping work? The formula is very simple. Let's look at the purple unlocked first, all right? So you can stake 50 Vitru, and you get to choose the time period, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, your choice. And for each Vitru, each 50 Vitru you stake, depending on the period you stake, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 Vibe. So let's use this a very simple example. If I have 100 Vitru unlocked sitting in my wallet, and I want to stake that, and I want to stake that for, let's say, 3 years, all right? So that's 100 Vitru I stake, and what do I get? Well, for each of those 50 units, so that's 2 units. I have 100 divided by 50, it's 2, right? I get 3 Vibe because I'm staking it for 3 years. So that's 3 multiplied by 2, and I would get 6 Vitru for that, right? Let's try another example. If you just have 50 Vitru and you stake that for 5 years, you get 5 Vibe tokens, right? So the longer you stake for, the more Vibe you can get. And the unlocked ratio, the multiplier is 50, right? Now let's go to the green column and look at the locked ones. And if you were to stake those, the only difference there is you need more Vitru. So because that Vitru is currently not in your wallet, it's locked, you have to pay slightly higher. So you pay 150 Vitru to get 1 Vibe in that scenario. So for example, if you had a Dreamer NFT and you had a grant on there for like 300, right? So, and if you decided to stake all of that, that's locked Vitru, right? So that's 150 times 2, it's 300. So you're able to get 2 Vibes. Now it's just a question of how long you want to stake it for. If you say stake it for 5 years, that's 5 multiplied by 2, you get 10 Vibe. Now the total Vibe available in this program is 350,000 for the entire community, for creators and everybody, right? So as Mike was pointing out, this is only for the early supporters, the early supporters of both the blockchain and Vitru, and really folks who are helping the ecosystem grow. So that's why it's limited to one. The total is 1 million, and available for staking and swapping is 350,000. All right. Now, I talked about staking. Let's talk about swapping also. Staking means you put your Vibe into the you put your Vitru into the Vibe contract, and it's going to wait there for the time period you set, and at the end of that you get it back. So with staking, you get back every Vitru that you have put in there to get your Vibe, and guess what? You get your Vibe right away. There is no waiting on the Vibe, right? So the moment you stake, you get your Vibe and you're eligible for revenue share from that point onward, and that Vibe is yours forever. That Vibe doesn't go back anywhere. It's yours forever to do whatever you want to it. But your Vitru, it sits there and it comes right back into your wallet at the end of the term you have. Now, if you choose to swap, that's you giving up your Vitru. You're saying, okay, I don't want to stake it. I just want the Vibe, and you get it at a much lower cost, right? So for the unlocked Vitru, for 15 Vitru each, you get one Vibe, right? So it's a lot more cost effective. if you were, but you don't get to keep your Vitru. Right? That's the disadvantage of it. Now with locked, it's just slightly more expensive. You pay 20 Vitru per vibe, so it's really you're swapping Vitru and saying give me vibe, and that Vitru is gone into the treasury, and you won't get it back. All right. So those are sort of the models we have. Let's go in and explain this in a little more detail about some of the choices you have and how they can impact your long-term income. So I want to talk a little bit about liquidity and your income. We already know that basically you are getting Vitru from sales, right? Right now, a number of artists had a lot of sales and are continuing to have sales there on Vitru store. So all of that Vitru is coming into, first and foremost, your vault, which is your own private smart contract. Every artist has one, and from there you can claim it into your wallet, right? That's Vitru coming in to your wallet. Now that Vitru is what was in my previous slide considered unlocked, right? So if you are thinking about the Vitru in your wallet right now, the numbers that apply to you are the purple numbers. So 50 to stake and 15 to buy, all right? So you basically have three options for income. On July 23rd, which is 3 days away, you can exchange your Vitru for USDC on our decentralized exchange. So just like every other blockchain has a decentralized exchange, we are launching our wrapped Vitru and USDC pair on our DEX on July 23rd. So that's one option. We'll dive into that in a little more detail momentarily. The other thing you can do is we have an ability for you to stake for 60 to 180 days to get more Vitru. So that's not Vibe. That's just saying, here's some Vitru, I'm going to stake it, and in 60 to 180 days, I'll get more Vitru. That's another way. So all these ways I'm talking about are ways in which you can convert your Vitru into either more Vitru or to convert it into another cryptocurrency, right? And the third option is to stake to acquire Vibe tokens, and you get lifetime income from the revenue sharing. All right, let's explore each of these in detail. So what happens if you sell your Vitru? All right, so what's going to happen here on the 23rd is this project has had a number of holders with Vitru, and a significant portion of them will want to, as investors, get their exit, and they will try and sell. And what that's going to cause is a lot of volatility. Volatility means up and down in the price, and there's a good chance that if you try and sell, you might lose some money, right? You might make some money also, but the better chance is that you might lose some money. So you got to be a little careful about that, and because the Vitru you've earned is through your hard work, it's through your art, and you don't want to lose money on it. You want to make money on it. So you need to watch the market and look at where it's going before you sell, and make sure that you don't lose money, right? So that's starting the July 23rd. That's the first day that Vitru is tradable against another cryptocurrency, and on our blockchain we have USDC. So you can swap with USDC, and then you can move that USDC via a bridge we have to Polygon chain, and from there you can go to any place because most of the exchanges, etc., support Polygon. So that's the way you would do it if you went with that route. Now the second route, which we also call APY rewards, are really staking rewards. So they are short term. If you saw the stake for Vibe, it was from 1 to 5 years. But what if you don't want to stake for that long of period? Well, we have the ability for you to stake for 60 to 180 days. It's a shorter period, half a year maximum. And depending on how long you stake for, you can multiply your Vitru. So maybe you're waiting right now, you've got the Vitru and you're waiting for it to the market to stabilize, right? We don't know exactly how long it's going to take and what the price points are going to be when Vitru starts trading on Tuesday. But if you just want to be patient and say, I'm going to wait until the market settles down, then staking rewards are also a good option for you, because you put in Vitru, and at the end of your term, you remove it, and you've got more Vitru. So, and by then, hopefully the market stabilized, and then you can make some other decisions. All right. So now the third option that you can consider is what we are talking about today, is if you stake Vitru for Vibe. And this is really a very attractive option if you want sustainable income. If you don't care about I just want to grab whatever I can right now today, and I'm done with it, and I'll think about it, more income another day. So if that's not what you're looking for, what you're looking for is for your art and really to be part of the ecosystem and make income, passive income, then this is the best option. So you would stake your Vitru for 1 to 5 years, according to that table I showed you earlier. You immediately get Vibe tokens, and you immediately start earning money whenever the blockchain makes money. So your Vitru continues to multiply. And this is a great way to have in your bag, as they call it, in your wallet, something that gives you lifetime income. So these are the three ways in which you can kind of create more wealth from Vitru. All right. So let's just review them. If you wish to stake Vitru for rewards, you can do that right now. And the place you would go is airdrop.vitruvio.xyz/stake. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and do that. I'll go to airdrop.vitruvio.xyz/stake. Okay. And when you do that, it's going to take you to this. Sorry, I got the URL slightly wrong. I'll correct it on the slide. But it's going to take you to this place here, which is our airdrop site. And here you can connect, and you can say how many days you want to stake it for, and you'll see what the APR is. APR is the interest rate, how much you're going to earn. And depending on what you put in here, so let's say I put 100. Actually, I need to connect my wallet first. So let's do that. And okay, I have a little bit of Vitru in there, so that's great. Okay, I will connect my wallet and go back to that page. All right. And so now if I say I have 27 in there, let's say if I stake 10, you can see that if I stake it for 60 days, I'm going to get a small increase. But if I increase it for more and more duration, then it multiplies. I'm just doing it for 10. But of course, if you do it for much more, you're going to see much more. So this is basically a way for you to grow your Vitru with a maximum window of 180 days. So that's one approach you might consider taking. The second approach is if you want to stake Vitru for Vibe. So for that, you're going to go to scope.vitruvio.xyz/stake, but not yet. That's going to be available Sunday, July 21st. That's tomorrow in the morning for Pacific time. But for UTC, it's 4 p.m. All right. And we are going to we are working on the UI and all of that right now and be released. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of it. So here we go. So it's going to be a very simple table. This is not done yet. It's work in progress, but I'll show you how it works. This is going to do all the math for you. It's going to connect with your wallet. It's going to connect with your NFTs, etc., and figure out exactly what you're able to do. And you can go into any of these. Like, for example, this section here is for locked, right? So that means you have Vitru that's sitting in your Dreamer NFT, or maybe you got a Nexus NFT or something like that, and it costs you 150 per 5 Vibe. So if you put in 150, it'll tell you you're going to get 5 Vibe. But if you put in 300, it's going to tell you it's going to give you 10 Vibe. And so you can decide the terms of how you can mix and match as much as you want. You don't have to just say all in one. You can say, okay, I'll do 150 for 2 years, and I'll do 500 for 4 years. And by the way, it's gonna make sure you put the correct multiples. I put 500, but it changed it to 450 because that's the correct multiple. So it's gonna do that for you, and then you hit a button, and it does all of that for you. It does all the staking, and it drops a Vibe into your account, and you're done. It should not take you, if you already know what you're going to do, this thing should take you at the most a minute, to be able to just quickly fill in the blanks, and you can just literally just tab through them and easily enter it. And like I said, about a minute is what it's going to take you to get done with this tomorrow. It'll be ready. Now, you will need to have your wallet connected, which you'll be able to do. And that wallet should have both your Vitru that's unlocked and should be the wallet where you have your core NFTs, the ones that are locked. So let me show you that too. Let me go to the live Vitruvio for there. So here, I'm looking at my account on scope.vitruvio.xyz. If you haven't visited there, you should visit it. So let me just go ahead and pull up that link here. Here we go. Scope. Okay. And there we go. So that gets you, if you go there and connect with your wallet, you will see what core NFTs you have in there. So that's a great way for you to see. So here I can see I have been granted 855. I have still available 279. So that's available is what is really stakeable. That's what I can use to stake. All right. So you can go here and do it. Now, before you make these decisions, you're probably going to wonder, well, how do I figure out, what I should do? Like, is there a way I can predict that? Well, certainly you can go to vitru.xyz/vibecalc, and I'll put that URL also up here. And so this is a calculator in Google Sheets. And I know a lot of artists don't care for these numbers, this level of detail. But if you happen to want to do that, you can go in here and fill in the blanks. You can say that, well, I got different Vitru from all these different sources. In your case, you would probably just fill it in this one and say, I got 1,000 Vitru. What do I do now? And you can do a what if scenario. It'll do some income analysis for you. If you, for example, if you were to say that, well, if I staked 100 for 3 years, what would my annual income be? And you can see our sales and revenue projections down here. What are we going to make from NFT licenses, from streams, etc.? You can see all those here, and you can do a what if scenario and figure out that if I have, if I've made, I don't know, 2,000 Vitru from selling my art, and I want to stake it, what would I get? How many Vibe tokens would I get? And what would my annual income be from that? So this calculator is going to be very handy. Now, when you go to this calculator, it is a read only. So you will need to go to File and make a copy before you can edit. All right. So it is not editable by you. It will not be editable by you. You have to make a copy. But this is a great tool to help you do a what if analysis and think about the best way you can distribute your tokens, whether you want to, your Vitru rather, whether you want to, stake it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So for example, let's use a simple example. A lot of artists got 100 Vitru. That's unlocked. And if they stake it for 5 years, then what you have is essentially, as the blockchain grows, you have a potential annual recurring income of $21,000 by year 5. So this is the power of sort of having an investment, and Vibe is an investment that you haven't paid for directly, but indirectly with your Vitru. You are able to get income, right? So that's really, really important, and a great way for you to build a long-term wealth, right? One other thing that is important is, while your Vitru is staked, it is still rebasing. Vitruvio is a rebasing blockchain. What it means is it gets compound interest. So even though your Vitru is locked, your rebases are available to you. They are available, and you can claim those. And so you're making money from multiple sources at that point. You've got income coming in from Vibe revenue share, which you can claim, and I'll show you how you do that here. So let me go here to Vibe section here. And so first of all, the Vibe area here has a giant display of the total revenue that is being shared at the moment. So right now, there's as people are buying artworks on, this number goes up, and it goes up quite regularly. It's gone up quite a bit in the first few days. And then based upon the total vibes you have, it will tell you how much you have available to claim. How much of this here, remember, it's divided by a million. This number here is divided by a million. And so you can then claim. So I have just a few sort of example vibe NFTs in here, but you can see that there's different denominations of them. So these vibes are ones, these are fives, these are tens, these are 20s, 50s, and 1,000. This is just like money, right? So money, you have banknotes, right? You have a $100 note, you have a $20 note, a $10 note. So you can think of your vibe denomination as just that. So this actually represents 1,000 a vibe. This represents 100 vibe, and so on. And so when you stake, it'll automatically give you the right change, if you will, right? If you go and buy something and give someone $100 bill or whatever, they will give you back change in the correct denomination of bills. And that's what our contract is going to do tomorrow for you when you stake. All right. So those are some useful tools for you to think about. And last but not the least, I want to say that if you don't want to stake, you don't want rewards, or you don't want vibe, and you just want to, play the market, then you can wait until Tuesday. We're going to announce the time, July 23rd, and you will be able to trade your Vitru for USDC. As I said, and that USDC, you can bridge over to Polygon and then do what you wish with it. So 3 options for liquidity. 2 of them are designed for sort of long-term wealth building and creation, and one of them is about immediately sort of starting out with the liquidity. So those are some of your options. I just want to say in summary here that we care deeply about artists. Like, the whole blockchain, Vitruvio, exists to enable artists to make a sustainable income through their art. We are what you would consider a vertical ecosystem blockchain. Most blockchains are horizontal, right? On Ethereum, you can do anything and everything, and people do. On Solana, you can do anything and everything, and people do. We are more focused on creators. So the projects that will come on Vitruvio, the projects that are currently there, are all creator focused. We exist to make you money, plain and simple, right? And we also believe in a mentality that a rising tide lifts all boats. So we feel that together, we can create success for everybody. So I would like to encourage every artist to think not only about their, selling their works and earning money for themselves, but if we create awareness and distribution and get more artists here, eventually get more art appreciators in so they can collect work, etc., what happens is everybody wins, because you're all holding vibe tokens at that point, right? So those are some of the things I wanted to share with you today. And like I said, immediately after this, I'll take a few questions now. I'll bring Mike back on so we can both field a few questions. And then I'll hop on Space, an X Space, and answer your questions interactively there, because I know a lot of creators are more comfortable on X Space. So let's bring Mike back on and answer some of your questions. So Bonnie says, I have a Dreamer's Pass, was in Art Packs, and the Vitruvio Genesis. How much vibe should I have? Well, the easiest way to tell is to go to scope.vitruvio.xyz and connect your wallet. It's painless and simple. It takes a minute, and you will see right away what you have. You can click on the Vibe NFTs, and they will have already been airdropped, so you already have them. All right. I'm just scrolling through. I want a 1,000 vibe, says Vi. Yes, we can do that. Make it so well.
Something, Nick, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So something that you touched on was the rebasing, and I kind of want to add some color to that, because Let's say that you stake, let's say that you sell some art, you're paid in Vitru, you have your Vitru. What should I do with it? Should I just sell it for whatever Vitru price is going for, or should I stake it for Vibe, or some other APR staking? If you stake for Vibe, let's say that you choose a 5-year plan, you're foregoing that instant gratification of having the immediate payout of that Vitru, whatever the Vitru price is. You're foregoing it for sustainable income. So when, let's say you stake it for 5 years, what that means to you as an investor is that amount that you staked, let's say it was 1,000 Vitru for 5 years, you receive your Vibe. That 1,000 Vitru is going to continue to grow. I think we projected somewhere around a 5x based on the rebasing protocol. So that means at the end of 5 years, not only are you going to be receiving your Vibe for life, your Vibe is going to, your revenue per Vibe is going to be increasing as the blockchain grows in revenue. So what that means to you is while the protocol is rebasing, your Vibe may start off at maybe $10 per Vibe. It may shoot up to $100, $200 per Vibe, or $1,000 per Vibe. It really depends on the revenue of the chain. And as we start this protocol and launch it coming up July 23rd, we're going to see a lot of activity and a lot of traction. And obviously, the more creators that get on board, the more users that are on the blockchain, our volume is just going to increase. And we haven't even really done any marketing. We're really just focusing on the build out. But at the end of the 5 years of that stake, what happens? Well, if it's been rebasing all this time for five years and you stake 1,000, well, now you have 5,000 Vitru, not just the 1,000. And in 5 years, we anticipate the price is going to be much greater because of just market cap and tokenomics on how the blockchain grows. So if the share price of Vitru is going for, say, $25 in 5 years, take 5,000 Vitru and multiply it times 25, and that's what your investment generated. So try to think long term, try to think passive income rather than just, hey, let me just sell this one NFT and pay my light bill with it. This can actually be pretty life-changing, but Vibe is in short supply. So if you're interested in more long-term passive income, you want to get as much as you can, before the supply is gone. We expect it's going to be gone very quickly.
Yeah, thanks for that insight. So Pam says, yesterday you mentioned about the stake swap choices worksheet. Do you still need us to fill that out? Yeah, so we were trying to get some projections on how many people are likely to do certain things. So we still have this worksheet. If you would be willing, so kind as to go to that and give us, this is what I intend to do. It'll help us figure out how quickly the Vibe is going to go. And just from the early submissions, Mike, it seems like it'll be gone like that, right? Like, so it's going to be highly competitive. Yeah. All right, let's answer.
Did you want to touch on onboarding at all?
Sure. Yeah. In terms of onboarding artists, you mean?
Yeah, and just how that is going to be evolving over the next maybe 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's actually go here. So I get this question all the time. I just want to clarify for everyone, at least watching this video now, live, etc. We are open for business. There are no more wait lists. There's no blocks, etc. You can come in and you can log into Vitru Studio and you can get going. So let me find the link for you here and get that up here. It's studio.vitruvio.xyz. All right. So you can go there and all you need is an email address and you can consign your artwork. So right now, we are focused mainly on artists who are already comfortable with Web3, but we are gradually shifting our focus and enabling the educational tools, like, we're going to create videos, workshops, things like that to get artists from who know nothing about crypto, who know nothing about Web3. But we are not there yet. We are still currently focused on our existing Web3 artists. So if you're an existing Web3 artist, just hop on in there. We do have content moderation right now. And the reason for that is right away when we launched initially, there was a lot of bad actors, fakes and scammers and things like that. So, but we are easing off that slowly. One of the things we are going to launch, I'm going to say Monday, but it might run into Tuesday, is that you're moderated once initially, just to, and when I say moderate, let's be very clear. We are not judging your art, all right? What we are doing is making sure that you are in fact an artist, right? So this obviously poses a small challenge for new artists who have never done anything. Let's talk about that separately. But first, if you're an artist, you probably have some kind of online presence. You have posts on social media, X, Instagram. You might have a blog. You might have a profile page on some of the sites that are out there that allow that. So it becomes super easy for us to verify and authenticate that you're an artist, and then we enable your work to go forth. Now, if you're a new artist, uh, we initially did not have the content moderation, etc. But now that we do, what we want to do is make sure that you are in fact an authentic artist. And so we are coming up with the rule set for how that works. But for us, it generally involves checking out, do you have some inkling of that shows to us that you are in fact an existing artist and not just here for a quick money grab. That's what we are trying to do. And it's not a perfect thing. It's not a perfect science. We have to, it's very subjective, and we are improving our process as we go. Mike, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you covered it.
Yeah. So I know that we've had a lot of false positives. We have a very tiny moderation team. We are figuring out things as we go. And this week we have a huge backlog. And when I say huge, I mean it. It is seriously long. And this tiny moderation team has to go through it and get everyone approved. So bear with us, right? This week it's going to be longer. The wait times are going to be longer just because there is a lot of demand, which is good, right? It means there are artists coming on onto the platform who like what we are doing and are willing to get on. But because we have this moderation process, it's taking a little longer. So what are we doing to ease that? Well, the first step is that we are adding that feature where as soon as you're moderated once, your second, third, etc. artworks don't require moderation. They go straight through consignment and start appearing in search right away. So that's one thing. There's some other changes also we might make. One in particular is a change to avoid false positives. So we have had a number of artists who are established artists who were rejected or blocked, and embarrassingly, I've collected from some of you. So people think that I'm hands-on on this. It's not possible to do that, folks. We've got we at this point we've got thousands of submissions, and I don't even know exactly who submitted and what they've submitted, etc. I might see a post after the fact about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to provide the team with different avenues of validation of your authenticity as an artist. I would like to publicly apologize if you are an established artist and we have miscategorized you. Believe me, we will fix it. It's going to take a little bit of time. We are doing our best. We will fix it. Please accept my apology for that. It is no disrespect. It's merely us being in beta. Like, our software is not done yet. We are still sort of growing. Like, think of it like an adult, meaning an established marketplace with been around for years, versus a toddler. We are the toddler right now, right? We are building fast and breaking things a little bit, and we are making mistakes. But those mistakes are just that, mistakes. We will fix them as quickly as we can. I know artists tend to get quite emotional when, for example, they get rejected and take it personally. I would say this. I would say there is absolutely no need to go post in public about that. Just know that filing an appeal with us will get you in the queue. We'll get it fixed, etc. This is a simple, like I said, process issue right now. We'll get it fixed, and you'll be on your way. So bear with us. Be patient with us, because, like I said, we are at toddler mode right now. Beta is toddler mode, right? We are just figuring things out, and we've had to deal with a huge number of artists submit artwork submissions, and we are doing the best we can. All right. So yeah, so that's onboarding. And I do want to say, I've been looking at search, and the artworks coming in, and they are simply amazing. I'm just so proud of all the artists that are coming in here and submitting artworks. Some great work, some great deals to be had. We've had a minor problem where collector credits couldn't be used on some of the more expensive artworks. That's being remedied this weekend. We are switching out collector credits for VUSD, which is the Vitruvio stablecoin, and that's going to make it super simple for the collectors to collect. Now, just so you know, what what we have is a scenario where $1.5 million in credits were issued to the crypto investors in our ecosystem. So that is strictly for creating for collecting art. We want to change how Web3 art works. Right now, if you go to Ethereum or etc., you have this small group of collectors with occasional bags of cash who go and buy artworks, and pretty much all the artists try and sort of appease them, right? We don't like that at all. We feel like your art, you're an artist, your artwork speaks for itself. What we want to create is a world where there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of art appreciators who may not necessarily be interested in collecting hundreds of artworks. They would just want to get the one artwork that they connect with and they like. And that's how we're going to scale up this system and make it really, really big and make your art available to lots and lots of people all over the world, right? So this model that we've built with Vitruvio is not a silo. It's not a marketplace. It's blockchain wide. So when you go searching here, you're searching all artworks. There is no sort of filter. Although we've provided through the metadata some amazing filters, and you can really granularly filter all the artwork. So this brings me to another point I want to make. If you're a new artist and you go to studio and you're trying to consign your work for the first time, you're probably gonna well, wait, I never answered these kind of questions, because it will take you anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to consign your artwork. I'll just be candid with you. The reason is because discovery is an unsolved problem in Web3 art, and we have solved it. Now we are solving it, and we have our metadata is our way to solve it. So when you enter that rich metadata, your artwork is way more discoverable. People can search for very specific things and find the artwork associated with it. That metadata also feeds to Google search engine and other search engines. And as we progress, we're going to share some interesting things with you. So we ask artists to make that investment of time upfront, and then you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do any marketing, any sales. We don't expect you to do any of that. So right now, after you mint your work on Foundation or whatever, you're going to spend a lot of time on Spaces, on daily posts, etc., trying to get your work noticed. You don't have to do anything like that on Vitruvio. Consign your work, you're done, finished. Go on, create more artwork, come back and consign it. And in Studio, we've made it very easy for you to consign lots of artworks. There's a clone feature. You hit clone, and it'll copy all the metadata over. So it's really the first artwork that takes a little bit of time. After that, you can be much, much faster. All right. Let's see. Take one or two more questions and then hop on to X, and we'll continue the conversation. Okay, looks like that's it for the questions there. So great. I guess I wish to thank everybody. Mike, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks.
Our intent here was to give you your options for long-term income. I think we've done that. Also to talk a little bit about onboarding. We've done that. You'll find me next in a couple of minutes on X. Please join the space and come, and we can talk interactively about this. Have a great weekend. Thank you, everyone. And let's see. I hope to see you on Vitruvio. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.